And we're live. Here we are.
Okay, hey,
Hey, Kat. Good to
everybody.
see you
Hey,
again.
Dan. Here we are.
And hello to Mr. Fat Tuesday.
Mr. Fat Tuesday's in the background here. Wants to be sure that we know he's here.
Well, it's great to see you again. And boy, I tell you what, in our little prep session ahead of this live stream, you had some really cool stats that were going on here in the local market. And I wanted to just really quickly introduce um, your stats by Cat. Uh, First, this particular one this week that came out is for Snohomish County. I got to tell you, it is the best source if you're looking for real-time, updated stats that I've seen anywhere, and it's just a fantastic service that you provide for your clients. And I want to thank you very much for including me on your mailing list.
Yeah, absolutely, Dan. You know me, I get kind of crazy about stats. I love it. I look forward to pulling them every week, and I get excited. It's really fun for me. So, but yeah, so Snohomish County, things are starting to look like they're softening a little bit. And when I talk to my daughter, who's a realtor over in Kingston with Windermere, she says, "Mom, every time you say softening, it sounds like such a bad thing." And I'm like, "Well, it's not really a terrible thing. It's just a fact. We're either kind of on an incline, maintaining, which rarely happens, or we're coming back down. And so at this point, we have increasing inventory. So we've gone up from 0.7 months supply 2 weeks ago to now Snohomish County is up to 0.9 months supply of inventory. And so, that matters. So now when I'm looking at data, for instance, how many homes that were listed in 7 days ago for the first 7 days on the market, sold in the first 7 days on the market, well, only 50% now, whereas that was 64% a couple of weeks ago. So, a lot less sellers that are coming on the market are getting their home under contract within that first 7 days. So, and the data for the 14 days, getting your home under contract within 14 days is also starting to slide a little bit. So it's going to be a little bit tougher going forward for sellers to get their home under contract, quickly. And the multiple offers may start to fade away eventually. Right now, we're still seeing multiple offers on probably almost half the homes out there. But it's if summer, if it's an average summer, in an average summer, we will have more inventory coming on the market. We should have less buyers this year because interest rates are so high. There's a good chance that we will see an increase in inventory over the summer, and we could see prices start to soften, come down just a little bit in a month or two. That's going to take some time because you'll have some sellers that now are on stay on the market in 60, 90 days, and they're going to start slashing prices like they did last year, just not to the same degree, but I think it's going to happen. Unless the one caveat is if the Fed does not increase interest rates and we can get a little interest rate relief. If they drop down at all, we'll see quite a bit of activity suddenly on the market. So I think it's an interesting time. I like it actually. I think now that things are starting to ease up a bit for buyers, I think I'll actually be able to get some more of my buyers under contract. So it's good for them. So,
Well, hopefully we do see some easing in interest rates. I wouldn't be
yeah,
surprised. I mean, the inflation numbers are looking pretty good. And I think looking forward, the inflation numbers are going to keep improving. So I think eventually, one of the things I think it's holding rates up right now, quite honestly, is at the end of the quarter, banks have liquidity reports that they have to file and bank deposit reports. And I think once we get past that period, going into the next 2 weeks, basically, and we get past that period, I think you are going to see because I think what's going on right now is some bank selling of treasuries and things like that to meet their deposit requirements. But
right.
we'll see. We'll see.
I know. Interesting stuff. Yeah. So, I pulled some stats for new construction in Snohomish County too, which is kind of interesting. I'd like to just mention that really quickly. But it
Yeah.
looks to me, so, offer review dates. So going back to resale, so offer review dates, there were only 32% of sellers in the retail market or the resale market that set offer review dates this last week. So I thought that was interesting. And then when it comes to new construction, only 5 out of 31 set offer review dates, which that's 5 divided by 31. That's only 16% of new construction. So new construction, as a general rule this year, are not setting offer review dates. And, they was 30. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask, and so by not setting offer review dates, is that a bit of a sign of weakness in new construction at all, you think? Or
It is, yeah, a little bit, yeah, because they're assuming they're not going to get multiple offers, and so I think when you're looking at the median days on market for pending, so some of the homes are getting half the homes are getting under contract within 8 days or less of the ones that went pending. So, you know, it's a softer market than what it was last year. Last year, new construction was just like resale. Everybody was setting offer review dates, waiting until Monday or Tuesday to review. Builders just collected offers and then made their decision. So that is not happening this year. So it is a way for a person to get into a new home and not have to compete, which feels better than competing, to be fair. So the downsides, of course, with new construction are the lot sizes, right?
right,
And is it a quality builder? What can you do to vet the builder and make sure they're using good quality materials for the Pacific Northwest? I mean, we've had a number of issues with siding and roofing, even windows over the years up here just because of our weather conditions. So
right.
it's new construction is always, you're just hoping for the best, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
so
Well, I do think that's pretty key too. Is you touched on it? Is finding a builder you can trust.
yeah, absolutely. Yep.
I guess one of those
So
things people would take for granted. And
mhm.
anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry, I
Oh
interrupted.
no, you're fine. No, I was just gonna say, I have a story. If
Mm,
you'd like to hear a story.
yes,
Um,
very much.
so I was I sold a house to a guy and his family 18 years ago, and we ended up getting reconnected. Actually, his emails, I was sending him emails, my stats by cat, and they weren't going through. And I was like, "What is happening?" So I texted him. I said, "Hey, what's your email?" And so he got a hold of me and he gave me his new email and he said, "Hey, by the way, I actually was thinking about investing in real estate. Let's get together and chat." So we met up, and so this, I set him up on a search and getting him started. We talked about where to get funds. He could pull a HELOC if he needed to, or he could use his available cash. So we ended up looking under 500. That was his kind of comfort zone just to get started buying investment properties. So I sent him everywhere in the state that was under every duplex in the state that was under $500,000. And I kept that search going to him every week. And so last week he came across a house in Grays Harbor County that really penciled well, including having a property management company handle it for him. And it still was positive. So we decided to go ahead and take a look at it. So I called the listing agent. Of course, both units are occupied, so we had to make an appointment several days later. But we went last Saturday, and it was built in the early 1900s. So post and pier foundation, and that, of course, can be interesting because over time, it's literally a post on a concrete pier, just sitting on dirt, right? That's what that is. I mean, it's exactly what the name says. So if your ground is soft at all, or it has a lot of moisture content, you can get some sagging. So we were walking. The listing agent met us down there. We kind of went through one of the first home. It's essentially two single family homes attached by one wall. So they look like two separate houses. They've got two separate yards. So they live like two separate homes. So we went in the first one, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. had been updated the year before. Wasn't super clean, wasn't fancy, but livable. And but we noticed that in the back bedroom, the floor was pretty
Okay.
significant slope. You didn't need to put a marble on that to see which direction it went. Just saying, you could almost kind of, you almost felt like you were going to go skating downhill. So,
Yeah, it's almost like
anyways,
I grew up in California, and you go over to Santa Cruz, and you go to the mystery spot, and that would be like the
yeah,
mystery spot.
exactly. Totally.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, you're on a slant. I mean, there's just no question, So we go into the other house. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. And again, fairly clean, not super modern, but, totally functional for a place to live. Both had good paint on the inside and, nice floors and stuff like that. And we get back to the laundry room, which the laundry room and the bedroom share a wall. They share a common wall. And it's probably only 12 feet wide, honestly. That's the only part that's attached between the two units. But the laundry room was like, again with the sloping down.
Yeah.
And so we kind of asked we asked the listing agent a little bit, and he said he had an inspection report from when they bought it just about 7 months ago from last year. So he did end up sending that to us. So after we left there, we agreed that the foundation was something that would definitely have to be looked at. And my client decided he wanted to write an offer. So we wrote an offer, wrote it for full price just to tie up the property rate. And then, we'd have an inspection to see if there's anything that we really need to worry about, because even at full price, it penciled. It does. So, but we needed to identify if there's any bigger issues. And the inspection report that was provided wasn't very super specific. They did call out the foundation and suggest you get somebody to take a look at it. But so we have another guy scheduled, an inspector scheduled for this Saturday, and we'll see where that goes. So we're contingent on a 10-day inspection. So we have until next Thursday. But we'd like to get the appraisal ordered. So this is kind of the kicker. We try to do a short close, a little over 3-week close, but that really puts a damper on the length of time you have to get all your inspections done. So even though we got a 10-day inspection in there, we really need to get that appraisal ordered. So important for my client to be able to make up his mind based on the inspection on Saturday. So so we can get the appraiser in there hopefully by Monday or Tuesday and still get closed in plenty of time if he wants to move forward. And then as a, just a side note, we do have a foundation specialist scheduled for next Thursday, so that if my client feels like the home is solid enough to move forward on, I'll be able to get him a bid for what it would cost to correct the foundation issue, which we're thinking it's just the one wall. So just the probably 1 or 2, joists or whatever and posts that might need to be, if there's rot down there, maybe would need to be replaced or sistered, whatever that looks like. But so he's positive, he's thinking he's going to buy his first investment property. He's pretty excited. So we'll see what happens, but stay tuned for more on that.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So I go everywhere, because I got to tell you, Grays Harbor is, just to start with, just to get into the county is like 2 hours. And that's with no traffic. Just saying. So,
Did you go around or?
Yeah. Because you just go down through Olympia and then, head over towards, Aberdeen, area over there on your way to Ocean Shores, if you can include that in your trip.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't able to do, but I wanted to badly. So, if you can throw in a night, over at the coast while you're, on one of the days you're going showing, that's just fabulous.
There you go.
I should think about that for this Saturday, because I'm going to spend another Saturday down there. So maybe I should look and see if there's any rooms at the Polynesian down there in Ocean Shores.
There you go. Yes, that's right.
For myself and Mr. Fat Tuesday.
Mr. Fat Tuesday. There you go.
He needs to go to the ocean, Dan.
I'll tell you what, the weather's really gotten a lot nicer the last couple of weeks, so it's getting to It's getting to be Ocean Shores time here pretty soon.
I know.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So yeah, and aside from that, I real quickly, I have another buyer. I mean, I have more than one buyer, but the buyer that really wants to get in, they're living in a townhouse, and in South Snohomish County, they've owned it for 20 years or something. They owe very little on it, but they now have grandkids, and they have a little patio out in the back, but no real lawn. So they really, really want to get into a house for lifestyle, which I'm not seeing a lot of this right now, but this is one of those cases. And because they want the grandkids to be able to come over, spend the night. So they need at least 4 bedrooms instead of the 3 they have. 2-car garage to store the extra toys and stuff, that people do when they have kids over and, company and stuff. So we have been looking to get them into something. And they're looking up to 800. So it's not like it's impossible. It's just that prices have gone up 20%. Did you hear me? 20%.
20%.
20% since January in Snohomish County. And, literally, I mean, that's average sales price. Median sales price has gone up 19%. So
yeah,
it's real.
Same thing.
It's real. It's not some weird data point. So it's really gone up 20%. So we've been looking this whole time. And I got to tell you, we could have gotten them into something for $650, $700 in January. It's just there wasn't much inventory. It was hardly anything to look at. But now it's almost impossible. Now we're almost having to look more up in Marysville, Lake Stevens, because they've just been priced out of the South Snohomish, down here where, South Everett, South Snohomish, kind of that Silver Firs area, which is where they really love, down to Mill Creek, Linwood, down towards Alderwood. They love that area. But the last one we looked at, which was just the other day, the kitchen cabinets were apartment grade, and they were missing some doors on the cabinets in the kitchen. and it wasn't intentional. It's not like they were painted on the inside and these were just glamorous, beautiful, amazing, doorless cabinets. No. It was random doors, random. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so they're plastic, just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
These doors are plastic. The cabinets are plastic. And the homes that have the plastic trim, and listen, guys, I have nothing against plastic trim other than it feels like plastic. So I had it in my house. I had to take most of it out. But, when I'm getting the house ready for market, a lot of times I just paint that. So it doesn't look like plastic. But for almost $800,000, that's my point. It's almost $800,000 house. Plastic? Come on, people. Don't build a house with plastic cabinets and door trim. The flat panel doors that they're plastic. You know what I'm talking about. They got the fake wood grain. Oh, gosh, I can't. It's just honestly, I was like, and I almost encouraged them to buy it just because they could afford it, and there wasn't competing offers.
Kind of begs the question.
It actually had 4 bedrooms and a good yard, and it was in a nice neighborhood in Mill Creek, just down from Mill Creek Town Center. So it was all these good things, but then there was the plastic cabinets. Sorry, I can't get past that.
Well, I guess it depends on what you expect for $800,000.
Well, the agent got a hold of me the next day because I'd inquired about a few things regarding the property after we took a look at it. She let me know they had an offer coming in, but then it was not at list price. So I was kind of not surprised because I was thinking maybe $25,000 towards, interest rate buy down. I was going to go for the gusto if they turned me loose on that one. Oh my God. That's so true. I was writing the offer that night because at first he said he wanted it, and then the family talked about it and they just decided it was just the bedrooms were too small. Square footage was a little bit less than what I think they're comfortable with. But yeah, I was going to go for the gusto on that one. Encourage him to ask for, you can ask for stuff on this one, guys. Listen,
Please.
don't list your house without cabinet doors in the kitchen. I'm just saying, or bathrooms. Don't do that. It's a bad look. It's a
So
bad look.
this sort of ties into last week when we were talking. You're saying staging does make a difference. So I mean, so if you've got you're definitely not going to be staging anything with the cabinets, plastic
Well,
cabinets.
that's the thing. There's just no workaround on that. There's no workaround. I'm just sorry. You can't stage around that shit.
Not only the plastic cabinets, but the ones some of them had no door, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, plastic. But I got to tell you, it's rare that I see that lower quality in cabinets in homes in this area. You don't see it. Those are apartment grade, and you do see it in apartments.
Which is a little sticker. It says "Cabinets by IKEA." No, just joking.
Listen, cabinets by IKEA is way step up. I mean, I'm not kidding. These were plastic. You know what I mean?
Something more like cabinets by Target. So anyway.
I don't know. Just don't do that.
That's not good.
Anyway, so they could have bought that. That's the thing. They could have bought that house, but they just a little too small in the cabinet thing. Man,
that's okay. There's another one out there calling their name, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
So, and where are they looking at right now? Like around Marysville?
So now they're well, they can get more house up there in Marysville for 700,000-800,000.
Yeah.
Probably mid sevens. And that's probably a more comfortable price range. Yeah. But and they'll get and they can get a decent sized yard, and the house will, I don't know that they're going to get anything that's got a brand new kitchen, which is what, of course, everybody wants. They want the new kitchen and the new bathrooms and the modern flooring, right? The wood laminate floors. I mean, that's like a drug to buyers, wood laminate floors. It's just crazy. Can I say that?
Yes, you can say that.
I did.
If that was going to be the new real estate fentanyl, or if it what's the drugs it was going to be, but
it's the drug for real estate is laminate flooring. Just saying, or quartz countertops with a completely remodeled kitchen with laminate flooring. There you go.
With laminate flooring, yes,
that's good. That's the combination. Anyway.
Oh gosh.
Oh, what else you got for me, Dan?
What else have I got for you?
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about investment properties.
Yes.
And it did remind me of all the DSCR lenders that we have out there that are begging for loans these days.
I know, right?
Oh gosh, but those DSCR loans, they are pretty decent for investors. If you're on the other day, or a couple weeks ago actually, but it was for there's an older couple, and they were looking to move some money out of the stock market, and they were pushing it over and wanted to get into real estate, but they don't have a lot of income, right? And so they have basically their pension and things like that. They weren't going to qualify under the regular income. And but it was the DSCR was perfect because it's like a quasi commercial type of loan, very, very simple, straightforward. All they're looking at is how much are you spending on the mortgage and how much are the rents, and that's basically, and how much can you put down, and
how much can you put down? Yeah,
you don't even have.
Go
ahead. No, I was going to say that they don't use their income for qualification. It was just really a slick deal. It was very, very cool. So it's a funny thing. There's a loan for every little niche that's out there these days.
Yeah. So. And honestly, for someone to build wealth. So what's interesting also, and I haven't run numbers on this, so I'm kind of just taking it off the top of my head, But
Yeah.
I believe that interest rates directly impact multifamily values because the properties, if they're investment properties, they have to pencil. So
Right.
they have to pencil at the current interest rates. So right now, and I haven't checked, but my feeling is that there's downward pressure on multifamily right now, and that it can be a good value because what's going to happen, or what could happen, is interest rates could go down. I mean, there's no guarantee, but they could. But if it pencils now and interest rates go down, you can refinance,
Yeah,
or
it's
do a
really going to
cash out
pencil.
refi, potentially pull that extra money out, go buy yourself another multifamily, and that can be a good way to go to start to build real estate wealth. So I think it's a very interesting time to get into multifamily. I mean, there are duplexes out there for under $300,000. It is incredible, and they're cash flowing. They're pulling in $2,600 a month in rents. I mean, I got to tell you, that's not bad.
No,
That's
that's not
good.
bad at all. Yeah, that's
I
right.
mean, your payment's 1,800. The payment's 1,800. You've got maybe a little water, sewer, garbage, or something. Maybe you're paying for the tenants, and then you've got your property management, fees. But that cash flows. It just does.
Exactly.
And
Like you
there's more
said,
than one of those out there. I mean, I'm sending them to my client almost every day right now, and it's hard to believe that there is quite a few of those out there. Not all of them pencil, but some of them do.
right. Right. And you're absolutely right, because if they pencil at these interest rates, they're certainly going to pencil at lower interest rates. It's only going to, hopefully we get lower interest rates sometime soon.
Sometime
Sometime.
soon.
Someday
We sure want to see that again.
we would. And like I said, I think we will see it to an extent, but I do think we'll see rates coming down. But I will say you really hit on a good theme, because
Yeah.
I do think the real estate. If you took a look at the 19th, and maybe we could talk about this upcoming, but there was a really interesting article, and I know you look at Calculated Risk by the Calculated Risk
Hmm.
fellow Bill McBride, and he pointed out over a year ago that this is really much closer to a 1978 to 1983 type of market that we're in, not
Hmm.
like we faced in 2008. And during that,
Right.
see, I'm old enough to remember during that period of time, the real estate was very,
We
very
don't.
popular.
We shouldn't. We don't own up to that, Dan.
I shouldn't, but but for whatever reason, I was kind of tuned in back when I was 3 years old. Anyway, um,
Your
it
nose
is
is
a very,
growing.
it's a yes, my nose is it's already big, um, but it was a very good time. That period of time was very good for investment properties,
Yeah.
apartments, things like that, and I think you're going to see a replay of that going forward. Um,
I think it could be an incredible opportunity right now,
yeah,
um, just because they do have to pencil at the higher interest rates, so that's pushing prices down. And
yeah,
and some of them aren't selling because they don't pencil, you
that's
know.
right.
And so those investors, if they want to cash out, they're going to have to reduce the price to where it pencils for that particular investor.
Well, and I think that's something to keep in mind if you're listing the property, not as a listing agent, but as a seller, that you kind of have to put yourself into the shoes of an investor and
Yep.
say, okay, if you're an investor, how much are you looking to put down? And if they do that, does it pencil?
Right.
And maybe you're overpriced and it sits for a while. You know,
Yeah.
it,
Because I'll tell you what, for multifamily, if you are not overpriced, it gets snapped up. You don't
right.
have 3 or 4 days. Usually it's the first weekend. So, and I can't wait to pull stats on multifamily. Now I'm gonna have to do that. Now, see what's happened to me now? Start talking about multifamily. Now it's a whole another set of stats. Dan, oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. Well, Kat, it has been great talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
Good luck this weekend, and
Thank you.
great conversation. Thank you very much. It's really good to keep up on the ups and downs of our market up here in King and Snohomish County,
Yeah.
and it's really interesting talking to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. No, I love it. I love your mortgage spin on things, and you're great to do business with. Obviously, we've had some transactions in the past,
Yeah.
and that's been fun, really fun.
Well,
My clients are better for it.
that's
Lower,
right.
lower payments. I mean, let's face it.
Makes a difference.
It does
Oh
make a
God.
difference. Anyway, yeah, thank you, Dan.
Well,
It was
thanks,
fun.
Kath. Thank you very much. I'll hit the end broadcast button
Okay.
and
See you.
take
See
care.
you guys. Bye.
Bye bye.